and welcome back to another exciting smithing video. Now, we've told you guys for quite some time that we're going to feature some artists, craftsmen and blacksmiths alike that you've never heard of before. And today, we got somebody pretty awesome. Why don't you tell us about it?
Indeed. This time around, the blacksmith Ilya from Bellerophon Studio channel has decided to try his hand at making weapons and other things. Normally what he does, he's a classically trained smith focusing on architectural work, which I love, meaning gates and railings, so on and so forth. But my previous work has influenced him in the direction of him trying really making swords and axes, so on and so forth. And not only is he making them, he's filming them, and him and his channel have decided to share some of those episodes with us.
That's right, first up is one badass battle axe.
Enjoy.
Welcome to The Art of the Hammer, Battle Axe. To get things started, a blacksmith has basically two choices with working with a piece of steel this big. Either weld on a very long holding stick, or weld on a short one, and maneuver the billet around with tongs. He chooses to go with the latter. Steel now up to around 2100 degrees. It's now time to pull it from the forge and begin the forging process. To begin manipulating the billet, he uses a pair of drawing dies underneath the power hammer. This will pull the material out much faster than a pair of flat dies, and actually will allow him to keep his billet much more symmetrical, believe it or not. He now switches over to flat dies to square the material, prepping it for the punching of the eye. It's now time to first scribe, and then marking with a chisel, and then a hot cut tool, where he'll be punching and drifting the eye of the axe.
And whoa, have you seen that? That's a lot different from what you've seen us do. We don't punch holes like that, but that's because he is a classically trained architectural blacksmith, and he has spent a lot of his own time developing tooling that normally goes to designing railings and gates. However, in the case of making an axe, that tooling pays off.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. He's got two dies that just perfect size, just kind of punch it from both sides. And did you notice how small his axe area was? Any little bit off one side or the other, you're starting over.
It takes a lot of skill and knowledge of your own tools to be able to do that.
Pretty awesome. With the punching now complete, it's time to move on to drifting. A drift is a tapered piece of metal that's driven into the punched hole to make it much larger. It's a good idea when you're drifting to use a series of different drifts, getting incrementally larger as you go. You can also use your final drift as a mandrel to manipulate the material around, finalizing the shape of the eye of the axe. The double-bladed or double-bitted battle axe was made most popular in the 1980s when it was used on a lot of cover art for fantasy novels. Although it has a lot of historical precedence, both the shape and size that we see on those fantasy novels is the most iconic. The eye of the axe, now both punched and drifted to shape, is now back to the drawing dies to begin spreading the cutting edge. It's now time to cut the handle off, start forging the second side of the axe. A few well-placed blows with a hand hammer gets our axe nice and straight and ready for the final grind and then heat treat. Uses a common angle grinder to not only cut and form the perimeter of the axe blade, but he also can use a wire wheel on the same grinder to remove any scale from the surface.
Грубую форму я подготовил, теперь осталось закалить лезвие и можно приступать к финишной обработке.
He's going to be heat treating the axe in a coal forge. Reason being, they forge the axe so big it won't even fit in the propane forge. Well, you've certainly seen us have that problem before. Axe is too big to fit in the forge. So what do? You move to charcoal or coal, right?
Yeah, that's what a smart blacksmith would do. You always have someone in the corner of your shop, a small portable coal forge or a charcoal forge. And sometimes those things are lifesavers.
Sure. And when you get into making stuff, going from traditional work to making these big fantasy weapons, you have to adjust your tools a little bit, make a bigger forge, or be a smart blacksmith and always have a plan B. Well, I'd say that was one badass battle axe build. And for the first go of making a fantasy weapon on camera, I'd say it was pretty perfect.
Indeed. Now, if you like this video and you would enjoy to see a longer version, please consider subscribing to Bellerophon Studio.
And don't forget to like this video and tell us in the comments below who you want to see us collab with next.
Until next time, stay Slavic.
Da.